Hello everyone. Welcome to another lecture on reasoning ability and problem solving. In today's lecture, we will continue with problem solving and analysis. So in the last few lectures, we discussed that there are four types of questions that can be formed from problem solving and analysis, and we discussed their subcategory as well. In today's lecture, we will discuss the first two type of questions, that is logical reasoning and mathematical operations, and their subtopics as well. And in the next lecture, we will discuss the other two types. So let us start from type 1, that is logical reasoning. So the first type is statement and assumption, conclusion and inference. So I told you the difference between assumption, conclusion and inference. Conclusion and inference are deduced from the statement. An assumption is implicit. It is already there, kept in mind when we are forming the statement. Okay, so in question number 1, we are given certain assumptions and we have to identify which of these are implicit or true. Now, the government has decided to construct an 8-lane superhighway across the state to facilitate fast movement of vehicles. So this is the statement that the government is planning to make a 8-lane superhighway. We have to identify which of the following assumptions are implicit. So assumption number 1, the government has adequate resources to construct the proposed highway. Now, if a government has decided to construct a highway, that means it definitely has adequate resources. It has a budget, it has allocated funds to construct the highway. So this is a true assumption, or you can say this is a implicit assumption. Now, the people of the state may protest against the government's decision. This is a very vague statement. This we cannot say for sure whether this is true or not. So the people of the state may or may not protest. So this is not valid. This is not a correct assumption. Now, the government may find it difficult to enroll a suitable contractor for constructing the highway. Again, a vague statement. This may or may not happen. Whether we find a suitable contractor or not, it is not in relevance with the statement at all. So this is also a vague statement. Now, there is no other highway which can be used for transportation of goods across the state. Again, a vague statement or a irrelevant statement. This irrelevant assumption. This has nothing to do with the original statement. So the only assumption which is true or implicit is number 1. So the correct answer will be option number 1. The government has adequate resources to construct the proposed superhighway. This is the correct assumption. Now, let us look at question number 2. Pets are not allowed in the park premises. This is a notice that has been put up at the park entrance by authority that is responsible for the maintenance of the park. So this is the statement that a notice has been put up in a park entrance that says that pets are not allowed in the park. We have to find out which of the following assumption is true. So the assumptions given to us are at least some people who visit the park have pets. Now, if a notice has been put up that pets are not allowed, that means some people, a few people do bring their pets, and we have to stop them from bringing pets to the park. So this assumption will be true because at least some people are visiting pets, have pets, and they're visiting the park. Therefore, that warning has been put up. Now, this is the only park which does not allow pet. Again, a vague statement. We cannot know whether this statement is true or false because nothing like this is mentioned in the statement. People who ignored this notice will be fined. Now, we don't know this for sure because nothing of such is mentioned in the statement. So this assumption is also vague in nature, or you can say irrelevant. There are more than one entrances to the park. Again, a vague statement because nothing of number of entrances, nothing about that was mentioned in the statement. Many people have now stopped visiting the park. Again, a vague statement because all these four assumptions are not implicit in the statement. So I told you that whenever we solve questions on statement, assumption, conclusion, and inference, we have to look at the true or the valid assumption. So the only true and valid assumption is option number 1. So option number 1 will be the correct answer. Okay. Now let us move on to syllogisms. In syllogisms, I told you that we have to use Venn diagrams to solve the question. So these are the 4 statements. Okay. These are the 4 conclusions of those statements. Now we have to tell whether which of the following conclusions follow or not. So we will use the concept of Venn diagram. In Venn diagram, I told you there are 4 types of statements. 2 are positive and 2 are negative. The positive one was all A are B, some A are B. And the negative one was that none of the A is B or some of the A are not B. So this we discussed in when we were discussing the types of the questions. Now let us solve the question. All cups are bottles. So this can be represented like this. So if these are cups, all cups are bottle. So cups will be a subset of bottles. All cups are bottles. Next, some bottles are jugs. So some will be like this. Some of the bottles are jugs. This area. Correct? Now, no jug is a plate. This is a negative statement. So if we have plate over here, these two will not overlap. Or let me draw a small cross. So plate and jugs will not overlap. Okay. And some plates are tables. So some of the plates are tables. So this can be drawn. This is the entire figure that can be drawn based on these statements. Now we have to answer whether these conclusions are correct or not. First conclusion, some tables are bottles. Now, some tables are bottles. Looking at this diagram, we can say if this instead of this, I would have drawn it something like this. So let's say I draw something like this. These are tables. If I draw it like this, then it would have been true. But I told you that whenever we solve questions on syllogisms, we draw what we know is definitely true. So definitely true, we'll get this figure. And by the means of this figure, we can say that some tables or bottles is a possibility, but it is not definitely true. So this is a possibility. This is not definitely true. Okay, so this is false. This does not definitely follow. We look at only what is definitely true. Now, some plates are cups. So again, this could or could not be true. So this is a possibility. This is not definitely true. Therefore, this is false. Okay. Now, no table is a bottle. Again, this is a possibility. We cannot say whether this is true or not. So for the time being, let us say this is false. Some jugs are cups. So if you look at here, some jugs are cups. Again, this is a possibility. If jugs were drawn like this, some jugs would be cups. But this is a possibility. This is not true. So we can say that this is also false. Now, let us look at statement 1 and statement 3. Some tables are bottles and no table is bottle. So 2 options is given to us. Some tables are bottles. So if table was drawn like this. Okay, if table was drawn like this, then some tables are bottle is correct. So this is a possibility. Similarly, no table is a bottle is also a possibility. So let's say if this chart is true, this is definitely true, then in that case, this is correct. So this is also a possibility. There could be overlapping or there could not be overlapping. Both the cases are possible. So I can say that either 1 or 3 is true. So if this is false, this will be true. If this is false, this will be true. Correct? Because either of the 2 possibilities will be true. Either they will overlap or they will not overlap. Therefore, either 1 or 3 is true. This will be the correct answer. So if you look at the options, option number 4 says that only either 1 or 3 follow. So this will be your correct answer. Okay, 1 or 3 follows. Correct? Let us move on to question number 2. Again, statements and conclusions, and we have to identify. Number 1, some chairs are handles. So how will we write that some chairs are handles? Like this. These are chair and this is handles. Okay, all handles are pots. So I can say this will be pots because all handles are part of pots. All pots are mat. So let me write that this is chair. Okay. Now, if all pots are mats, I can draw it like this, that all pots will be part of mats. Correct? Some mats are buses. So if this is mats, there will be some part common between mats and buses. That is this part. Okay. So this is how we'll draw the Venn diagram. So some chairs are handles, all handles are pots, and all handles are pots and all pots are mats. And then some mats are buses. So this is the definitely true syllogism or definitely true Venn diagram. Now let us look at the conclusion. Some buses are handles. So if you look over here, buses and handles do not overlap in this. But if buses were drawn like this, then they would have overlapped. So I can say that this is a possibility. So we don't know whether this is true or false. For now, let us say that this is false. Okay. Some mats are chairs. So if you see here, mats and chairs, if you look at this portion, this is the overlapping portion between mats and chairs. So this is definitely true. Why? Because this is definite. Now, no bus is handles. No bus is handles, again a possibility. If this did not exist, and we had only like this, then it is a possibility. So as I said, either they will overlap or they will not overlap. Correct? One of the two possibilities. So option number 1 and option number 3, I can say that either 1 or 3 will be true. Either of those. Either 1 is true or 3 is true. Now, some mats are not handles. Some mats are not handles. This is incorrect because you can see this part of mats is definitely handles. So this is false. And how? Because this is definite. Correct? So, our correct answer will be, if you look at this question, this is definitely true and either 1 or 3 is true. So, if you look at the options, we get either 1 or 3 true, only either 1 or 3 is true and 2 follows. So, option number 3 will be your correct answer. Now, analogies. Analogies, I told you that we get 2 pairs and we have to find the relation between first pair and then we have to use the same relation for the second pair as well. Now this is pair number 1. Money is too wealthy. So I can say that money, if you have money, you are wealthy. Or I can say money makes you wealthy. Correct? I can say that money makes you wealthy. Now, rude and kindness, these are opposite words. Wise, illiterate, also opposite words. Cruel, anger, pride and arrogant. Now, these are similar words. I can say that if you have pride, pride will make you arrogant. So I can say that pride makes you arrogant. Can I say cruel makes you anger? No. If we had something like this, cruelty makes you angry or anger makes you cruel. If something like this, then it would have been correct. But here, the correct answer will be option number 4, that is pride makes you arrogant. So option number 4 will be your correct answer. Now, question. Writing is related to pen in the same way as we have to identify. Now, writing is related to pen how? I can say that pen is used for writing This is the relationship between pen and writing. Pen is used for writing. Now we have to find a similar relationship. So if you look, singing is related to music. Can I say music is used for singing? No. Exercise is used for dancing? No. Tools are used for carpenter? No. Carpenter is a person. If it would have been tools are used for carpentering or tools are used for building, then it would have been correct. Now, needle is used for stitching? Yes. So this will be correct. This will be needle is used for stitching. So this will be your correct answer. Okay. Now, pen is used to write something. Similarly, a needle is used to stitch. Now, coding and decoding. In coding and decoding, this word is coded as these symbols. And we have to find how this word will be coded. So, in coding and decoding, we have done this in detail. We had an entire chapter. So, let us start. Now, if you look at gust and gape, so G and G we have common. Correct? So gust and gape, G and G we have common. So the code is this and this. In these two code, the only common is the dollar sign. Right? So I can say that G is coded as the dollar sign. So G is dollar. Correct? Now, over here, if you see snip and this. Correct? And gape and this. So in snip and gape, I can see that P is the only common word. Correct? And in the code 957 hashtag and this sign, the only common is 5. So I can say that P is coded as 5. This we discussed in detail in coding and decoding, right? Now, the remaining letters are S and I. And the remaining codes are 9, 7 and hashtag. So S and I is over here and this is the code. So the final code will be 97 hashtag dollar and it is given in option number 1. The sequence is not important because these are not coded in sequence. There are two types of coding and decoding I've told you. First is in order of sequence and the second is without any sequence. Correct? This I've told you already. So this is without any sequence, hence option number 1, $9.07 hashtag will be your correct answer. Here is the solution. Now, certain code temporal is written as this. We have to consider will be written. So for this type of questions, I've told you that we have to first write them one below the other. So temporal is written as OLDSMBSP. Now, I am giving them forward ranks. So if you remember forward ranks, T is 20, E is 5, M is 13, P is 16, O is 15, R is 18, A is 1 and L is 12. Similarly, O is 15, L is 12, D is 4, S is 19, M is 13, P is 16, S is 19 again and P is 16. So these are the codes, forward ranks. So do you remember the concept of forward ranks? This we discussed in coding and decoding, also in alphanumeric also. So I've given them forward ranks. Now if I look at this image, let's break it from here. I can see from P to we are going -1. Similarly, T to S we are going -1. Here also M to L we are going -1 and E to D we are going -1. Correct? Here from L to M we are going +1. O to P we are going +1. A to P. Sorry, this is MB. B is 2. A to B we are going +1 and R to S we are going +1. This was B. So OLDSMBPS. A to B is +1 and R to S is also +1. So what we have done is we have broken the word into two parts and over here we are moving one position backwards in a crisscross manner, and over here we are moving one position forward in a crisscross manner. So we'll do the same thing for consider as well. So here if I write consider, breaking it from between, now let me write the forward ranks. So forward rank C is 3, this is 15, N will be 14, S will be 19, I is 9, D is 4, this is 5, and this is 18. So here we have to go one position backward. So this will be 18th position, this will be the second position. Similarly, this will be the 13th position and this will be the 14th position. Over here we have to move one position forward. So this will be 19, this will be 10, this will be 6, and this will be 5. Now let me give them alphabets. So at 18th position we have R. At 13th position we have what? We have M. At 14th position we have N. This is B. At 19th position we have S. Then we have F, E, and J. To remember the forward ranks, I have told you a shortcut called EJOTI, where E represents 5, J represents 10, O is 15, T is 20, and Y is 25. So you can use this shortcut as well to remember forward ranks. Okay, so the code will be R, M, N, B, S, F, E, J. And this is given in option number 1. So option number 1 will be the correct answer. Okay, now let us move forward. So here is the solution. Now, blood relation questions. So blood relation questions, what we did, there were 4, 5 things that I've told you to remember. First was draw a chart. So blood relation, always draw a chart. Second thing, do not assume the gender. So Meena can be a man, Devanshu can be a woman. Until unless you deduce the gender, do not assume it. Correct? Then I told you, represent siblings and spouse using different symbols. So if siblings, I'm using this, spouse, I'm using a dash. Similarly, we have to represent male and female. So male I'm representing like M, and female I'm representing like this. So this you have to follow while answering questions for blood relation. Now let us look at this question. Pointing to a boy, Meena said, "He is the only grandson of my grandfather." So Meena, let us say, is here. Meena's grandfather first. Let us look at this. Meena said he is the only son of my grandfather. So Meena's grandfather. Meena, we don't know whether she is a female or a male, correct? Will have a mother or a father, and his father will be Meena's grandfather, correct? Now Meena is saying that this boy is the only grandson of my grandfather. So grandson of grandfather, from grandfather, this will be children, and children's children will be what? This is the boy, this is the son, he is a male, he is a son, grandson of the grandfather, and he is the only grandson, so only one male child. So this makes Meena a female person, correct? We have to find out how is the boy related to Meena. So if this is grandfather's grandson, then Meena will be the granddaughter, and they are siblings. So this boy will be Meena's brother. So option number 1, brother, will be the correct answer. Okay. Question number 2. P is the son of Q. Q is the mother of R. Let us solve this question. So it is given to us that P is the son of Q. Q's gender we don't know, but we know that P is the son, so he is a male. Okay. Q is the mother of R. Again, Q is the mother of R. So female is Q. P is gonna have a sibling R, but R's gender we don't know. It could be male or female. Okay, because P is the son and R is another children of Q. R is the wife of T. So now we know that this is female. These are siblings. And R has a husband named T, who's a male. T is the father of V. So now R and T have children V. Now we do not know the gender yet. Now V is the brother of W. So now we know that V is a male and he is the brother of W. W's gender we don't know yet. Okay, so we are drawing 3 generations. Y is the mother of T. So if you look at over here, T is a male. He has a mother, female, Y. We have to find out how T is related to P. So T and P. Now, over here, I can see that T is the spouse of R and R is the sister of P. So if R is the sister, T will be the brother-in-law. So option number 4, brother-in-law will be the correct answer. There are 2 types of relations. One is the blood relations or blood relatives, and the second relation is in-laws. So both type of questions you get in exams. So T will be the brother-in-law. For option number 4 will be your correct answer. Now let us move on to type 2, mathematical and quantitative reasoning. Basically, number series. Number series we have done numerous times. So very easy questions. We have to find this missing element. Now 98 to 95 I can see a minus 3. 95 to 86 I can see a minus 9. 86 to 82 minus 4. 82 to 66 is minus 16. Okay. So here I can see I can write 9 as 3 square. Similarly, I can write 16 as 4 square. So we are going minus 3, then we are squaring the number and subtracting. Then we are going minus 4, then we are squaring the number and subtracting. So now I'll go minus 5. So if I'm minus 5, I'll get 61. And we'll check with the next term. So next term we have to subtract square of 5, which is 25. So 61 minus 25, this will give me 36, which follows logically with this number. So 61 will be the correct answer, which is option number 3. So option number 3 will be the correct answer to this question. Okay, here is the solution. Now, question number 2. Select the term that will come in place of this. 7, 11, 19. Similarly, if I see, here is addition of 4. Here is addition of 8. Here is addition of 12. So I can see this is clearly addition of 4 table. 4 into 1, 4 into 2, 4 into 3. So now I will add 4 into 4, that is 16. So if I add 16 into 31, I'll get 47. Next will be 4 into 5, that is 20. So if I add 20 into 47, I'll get 67. So this logically follows with the next number as well. So our answer will be 47, which is option number 4. So option number 4 will be the correct answer to this question. So this is how you solve questions on number series and sequence. Then we have mathematical operations. So in mathematical operations, question number 1, which 2 signs should be interchanged in the following equations to make it correct? So whenever you get a question like this is an equation given to us, this is incorrect. So if I solve this equation, I'll get 12 minus 8, which is 4, plus 12 into 9 divided by 3. So this will be 3. This will be 36 plus 4, which is 40. But here I am getting 9. So this is logically incorrect statement. How do we have to rectify it? We have to change 2 signs, interchange them with each other to get a correct statement. So whenever you get a question like this, just start answering from the options. This is the easiest way. So if I take options, okay, the first option says plus and divide. So if I interchange plus and divide, I'll write my equation something like this. 12, this is divide, into 9 plus 3 is equals to 9. This will be my equation. I have interchanged plus and divide. Correct? Now I'll solve this to find whether this is true or not. So 12 minus 8 divided by 12 into 9 plus 3. This will be 3, this will be 4. 4 3s are 3 3s are 9, 3 4s are 12. This will be 2. So 3 into 2 will be 6. 12 minus 6 is 6 plus 3, which is 9. So this statement, interchanging plus and this symbol, divide symbol, will give us the correct answer, in which our LHS, left hand side, is equal to the right hand side. So the correct answer will be option number 1, plus and the divide sign. Clear? This is how you solve questions on mathematical operations. Now, this is the solution. Second, same type of question. This equation is given to us. Let us check with the first one. Now, the first one is plus and minus. So, plus and minus. So, 18 minus 6 plus 6 divided by 3 into 3 equals to 6. Now, if I solve this, 18 minus 6 will give me 12. Plus 6 divided by 3 into 3. So 3 and 3 cancel. 12 plus 6 will give me 18. And on the right hand side I have 6. So this is not true. So the first is not true. Now let us check with the second one. So with the second one I have to change plus and divide. So plus and divide I have to change. So 18 divided by 6 minus 6 plus 3 into 3 equals to 6. Now I'll check. 18 by 6 will be 3 minus 6 plus 9 equals to 6. So 9 plus 3 will be 12. 12 minus 6 will be 6. So 6 equals 6. LHS equals to RHS. Therefore, this option number 2 will be the correct answer. Okay. So here you can see the solution. Option number 2 is correct. So this concludes today's lecture. In today's lecture, we discussed 2 types of exercise questions for 2 types of questions. Now, in the next lecture, we will discuss the other 2 types, that is type 3 and type 4. So, thank you.